All right, I have the transmission lines that just came in. I want to get these put on, so let's go through this and see how. Let's get this box opened up and see what we got. All right. So the way these come out is they ship them bent like this, and you're supposed to, there's instructions in the box basically that shows you, how to straighten them out and everything and put them in. So let's get these put on and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm got to get these fed between the frame here and the motor. It's going to take a second here to kind of get these under there. This is why I couldn't put the radiator in yet, because it'd be in the way of getting these lines put in. So you got to be careful with these lines because it gets stripped out really easy. So you got to have the right angle, and that could be difficult. I can already tell it's gonna be a challenge. This top one I'll get pretty easy. The bottom one's gonna be a little tough. So you don't ever want to force it. So you just want to do it by hand. Then once you get it threaded by hand, then you'll go ahead and get the wrench out. I put some transmission fluid on the threads here, so we don't strip anything out. It's very delicate. So I think I may have gotten this one on, but I'm going to find out now. It's been a big challenge. Again, you got to be real gentle with these. You don't want to strip it out. I hate to do this, but I'm actually going to back this out again because I don't want to strip it out. I'm very concerned about that. I've stripped many out in my life, and it's a pain, especially when you got a new set of lines like this. So it actually looks like it was going in okay. But just to be safe, I'm going to pour some more transmission fluid on the end of the line. It's got a little napkin and so I don't make a mess everywhere. Put some gloves on. My fingers are killing me from spending 15 minutes trying to thread this by hand. Having some gloves on really helps. Okay, I picked up a radiator. I started opening the package and I thought, you know what, let's film this so you guys can see what I'm seeing. So the car came with a 3-core radiator, which is standard for the big block Chevrolet. There was a 4-core option, a heavy duty cooling option. So I have my original radiator, or at least the one that came in the car, and I was going to use it. I had it went through, cleaned up, pressure tested and everything. It was fine, but you know, it was just a little dinged up and stuff. So I thought, you know, why not go ahead and upgrade to the 4-core, especially being that I'm running 605 horsepower here. So let's get this open here and see what we got. It's basically like a factory replica. I didn't want to go with anything fancy like the fancy aluminum ones. I want it to look factory, so this is a factory replica radiator. It's made of brass and copper. So let's get this open here. Let's see what we got. Around here. It looks like it's packaged up pretty good. These straps cut off. Look at that. What do you think? Looks pretty good. So I'm gonna get this dropped in. See how it goes. I got the extra size pads that go here on the upper and the lower to set it in the core support. So we get to work on that. It looks good. Okay, I picked up these pads here for the radiator. These are made for the larger 4-core radiator, so I'm going to get these inserted. I believe they are identical, but I'm going to look just to make sure. Actually, yeah. I believe they have a metal in them. The ones that have metal inside, these ones actually go on the bottom. So I'm going to get these put on. See how we're going here. Yep. This fits right in. And it's going to go on a, there's provisions for an inner, 2 inner provisions here for the pads, but this will go on the furthest end. So we got those in there. And now I'm going to get that radiator fitted in there and Need to get the top plate on too, so see how that's going to work out. Alright, got the radiator dropped in. Now these got these pads that go on the top. Figure out how they go. Just gonna mock this up right here. See how this goes. It's like that fits there. One thing I noticed is this side of the radiator, I got 4 of the longer pads for the 4-core radiator, but this side doesn't need a pad that long, so I'm trying to figure something out. I'm probably going to, luckily I had bought for my 3-core radiator some smaller pads, so I think what I'm going to do actually is install these smaller pads on this side, because this side of the radiator is not as long, not as wide I should say. So, see how this looks here. See if that's going to work. If that's the case, I can put that on that one. And then the longer one, so that looks like that would work out if I do it that way. I'm glad I had bought them both. So these pads, I bought a set of 4 for the 3-core radiator, and then I have these for the 4-core radiator. Obviously you can see this one's a lot larger, but it's not going to work on this side of the radiator, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of intermix these then. I'll probably do the same on the bottom. I got to double check. Yep. Well, it seems to fit right in there like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And, yeah. Looks like there's an alignment issue here. Gotta figure out. Oh, there we go. So I had to run to the hardware store and get these are 5/16, 18, 13/16 bolts for here. I didn't have them, so I'm going to stick one in here just to kind of hold this in place. So I'm going to just stick this one in here, and then what I'll do, I like putting WD-40 on these, so this way this will hold it in place, and I'll get some WD-40 for the rest. So it looks like we're good to go. It looks like everything is snug on the pads here. So that's good. Again, I'm glad I bought the smaller ones for the 3-core radiator. So yeah, that was a lifesaver. Definitely screwing a lot easier with some lubricant on them. It's looking good. I'm going to cinch these down a little more. Then I'm going to get the radiator hoses on. I'll start them at lower. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and get the transmission lines in. That's going to be a fun one. I got to straighten this one out and then get it installed in the radiator. There we go. This part that sticks through wasn't sticking through. Guess I need to do the same on this side. Make sure that this sticks all the way through. This way everything's lined up. We'll have to see. Got the radiator cap on. I got the radiator hoses for this. These are basically factory replica hoses. This would be the top here. Hopefully it's long enough. you know, a lot of the issues I've been running into is they'll send me Chevelle parts, and Chevelle parts don't always fit. So don't always assume that a Chevelle part will fit. Do your homework. So we look good here. Actually, I should probably put the clamps on. It's going to be a one-shot deal. So I have a bottom radiator hose here. Let's check this one out. So this lower radiator hose here is cut to fit, it looks like, because it's quite a bit longer, and I paid the big bucks for a factory replica, and it looks like I'm probably going to be cutting the GM stamp off of it. Not good, but so it is. So I'm going to start by maybe just cutting us a couple inches off. I'm going to try this trusty PVC pipe cutter. See if this will give it a clean cut. Good, pretty good. Not bad. I ran and picked up also some hose clamps. I wanted to originally use the factory ones, but from what I understand, they're maybe just a one-use type. So being that, you know, some of this stuff may end up coming off during this whole process, I'm just going to put regular hose clamps on. Tricky part here when you're putting on these hose clamps is you want to make sure they're accessible when you're taking things apart once everything's all in here. So I just remembered there's a spring that I got ordered separately with this hose that you put inside it. It prevents the hose from collapsing. was tight. I was worried there for a minute that it wasn't going to fit, but it looks like it's coming. Just gotta muscle it on. Alright, looks like you got that on. So now just got to get the clamps on. Again, I'm thinking about when the car's all put together, I'm thinking I'll be able to come in on this direction if I ever need to take it off with the hose clamp. So, yeah. Finally, something lefty. So got that one on, now we'll get this one on. So again, when the fan shroud's gonna be on here, so I can't put it on this side, or I could, but it'd be really tight, so I'd rather just have it on this side and play it safe. So it looks like I got to spare the GM logo in here. So I'm good with that lower. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and get these transmission lines put on. I was wanting to put things on in order so I don't have to take stuff off. And it looks like I'm taking stuff off. Yep. Yeah, so. So, put that like that. And so, this is going to be the challenge, is getting these transmission lines on right here. Boy, I had to turn the camera off to work on the others, on that other side. That was a bear. And I'm probably going to have to do the same for here because this is a bear. I'm going to have to bend them to make them, you know, they have to be perfectly straight when they go in. Other words, they'll not screw in, and if you try to, if you get it the angle off wrong, you're going to strip out this brass fitting on the end. So I don't want to bore you guys to death, so I'm going to do some a little bit of I'm going to do a little bit of magic here trying to get these things on, and I'm going to say a little prayer too. That's important. So I bent this one and I got it in. It wasn't too bad. I try to hand thread it. Like I was saying earlier, you probably want to have some gloves on because your fingers are going to start hurting really quick. So I'm going to grab my gloves. All right, got the gloves on. I'm going to twist this a little by hand. See if this is going to take. So this one went in pretty easy. I had to muscle it. With the camera off, I muscled it to kind of get it in there. So now with the top one, you know, it came in the package bent like that, which is typical. And the manufacturer has instructions in there kind of explaining, you know, unbending it and everything. So, you know, so now let's try the top. Remember, we want to get this straight. It will not screw in unless it's straight. So it's like it's starting to bite. Let's try it out. So it looks like it's a go here. So got the lines in, and now I can go ahead and maneuver this hose. I get it now. I see how it's supposed to go. Okay, so we got the lower hose in, got the transmission cooler lines on, so everything's looking good. I got to figure out how to cinch these. Some cinch on the oil pan, some have a little bracket on the frame. So I got to figure that out. In other words, these things are just kind of, I mean, they're pretty snug. But they're just kind of laying on the frame basically. But I did buy a little rubber isolator to put around it, so it's not, you know, rubbing on the frame like that on this bottom section, support section of the frame. So so we got this on, and I'll work on that later. And I want to get the fan on now. You know, I'm kind of working my way over, and then I'll put the upper radiator hose on after. So let's get to the fan. Okay, what I've got here is a factory replica fan and a fan clutch as well. So let's take a look at this. This is a 7-blade fan. This is what was on the LS6 and also the LS5 as well, but with how the blades are bent like that, it's considered a high-performance fan. So this is what Chevrolet put on a big block high-performance engine. And then I got the, again, a factory replica fan clutch. So that's what that looks like. So let's get it put on. So I got two pieces here. Got the fan clutch, and then I got the fan. So they come together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install some Loctite on the bolt. It does come with lock washers, but again, you know, sure hate to see this thing fly off, you know, and cause damage. So I'm still gonna put a little bit of Loctite on the end of the bolt, each bolt that goes in here. Just put a dab on the end, like so. Get my lock washer on. Get that thing screwed in there. The same with the others. Bit of Loctite. Better safe than sorry. All right, so this is the 1/2 inch here, so found me a 1/2 inch wrench. Trying not to scratch nothing here. I was scuffing something because I let the wrench touch the bottom here, so I'm trying to prevent that. Even though no one will ever see the back of this. That's just, sometimes when you're a perfectionist, it could drive you nuts. So this is what it looks like all together. So next step is putting it on the water pump. All right, so my neighbor's got a live band in the backyard, so enjoy the music. It's free. So I went to the auto parts store actually, and I got some studs for the water pump pulley. So that's really what should be there anyways. I was trying to put a bolt in there because I already had one, so no need to do that. So I got a pack of studs, so I'm gonna get them put on. Enjoy the music, by the way. It's a universal pack that I have here, so I gotta find the ones that fit. So I was just checking, I'm gonna put some Loctite on this as well, on these studs. Got the studs in, so let's get that fan put on now. Right. I may actually be backing these studs out a little bit because I need them to stick out more. Hope that Loctite didn't dry. And I got a little bit of room here. See what I got here. It's kind of tight. Yeah, these lock washers aren't going to fit, so I'm just going to put these nuts on for now, and I'll follow up later with Loctite. Actually, maybe I'll just put Loctite on right now. Comment about the music. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it. Sounds pretty good, I guess. They just need a drummer. I'm actually a drummer. If you listen to the intro of this channel, that's an old band that I used to be in, and if you look at, I believe it's video number 7, the engine assembly. That's just an excerpt out of one of the songs that my band recorded several years ago. My old band, I should say. So one thing about the Loctite, if you get too much, you're gonna have a tough time getting that nut off or bolt or whatever. So you gotta kind of temper it depending on the application, of course. Just laying around, I'm going to use the one that I use for transmission lines. 1/2 inch. box wrench is usually easier though. Welcome to Weekend Garage Mexicano special. Got a live mariachi band playing across the street. So enjoy the music. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this upper radiator hose installed here. So that'll be my last task to get this done here for this video series. Right, got my hose clamps here. Let's get this thing put on. Well, that's not good. Figure out, maybe I'll go under with that hose clamp. So again, these are basically factory reproduction GM hoses, got the original stamp and numbers just like it would in the factory, just factory replica. Side. By the way, what do you think about this shirt? Pretty cool, huh? Pretty sweet, huh? Thank you, Motorheads Inc. Pretty sweet. All right. So we got the upper radiator hose on. And I may have to actually take this off when I put the fan shroud on, so I'm not even gonna tighten this very tight right now. I'm just gonna slip that right there for now, and then, cause I gotta wash up the original fan shroud, clean it up. So I'm just gonna stick that there for now. And this one should be good to be cinched up right here. So there we go. So today it's already the end of the day, but I got the transmission cooler lines installed. I got the lower radiator hose installed with the spring inside. I got the fan and fan clutch installed. Upper radiator hose. Only took about 5 trips to the hardware store and the local parts store throughout the day, but I got it done. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the music too. And like and subscribe, and thanks again to my Rumble followers. I appreciate you all too. Thanks.